Under Chiang Kai-shek's leadership, the men of Free China's armed forces devoutly believe they will one day regain possession of their mainland, which lies under Red control. It is a proud and defiant hope, held despite the skepticism of much of the rest of the world by men who have sacrificed much in their refusal to be communist dominated. However the future treats them, these spirited men stand today in the front line of the free world's defense. Korea has a symbolic meaning to today's world unmatched by any nation in the Far East. And nowhere in the whole vast range of military assistance which America provides to nations throughout the free world is the story of the beginning of that assistance rooted in such dire necessity. The Korean Military Advisory Group, predecessor of today's MAAG, had an urgent mission to train South Korean soldiers into an effective defense against the communist invaders, bringing destitution and widespread destruction to their land. By the time hostilities ended, the Republic of Korea's army was a first-rate fighting force. Today, the Military Assistance and Advisory Group in Korea continues the program of aiding in the training of the South Korean Army, teaching them the most modern methods of war and the best use of the arms they get from the United States. This training shows dramatic effect. Rebuilt after suffering more than 1 million casualties in the war, the South Korean Army today, as it guards the uneasy border which divides its nation, is efficient and strong, the 4th largest standing army in the world. American aid to Korea has been important to that beleaguered nation and to the cause of freedom in the world for many years now. It continues to be no less important today. In their amazing progress toward recovery from a devastation in war unequaled since the time of Carthage, the Korean people show a spirit quite in keeping with that manifested by their army. Their courageous dedication to the hard tasks of reconstruction in a divided land is a testimonial to what they have already proved in hardship and suffering. They stand firm against communist designs. Japan has a special distinction among the nations under study in this report. It is the only one which the United States once entered as an occupation force. Today, so swift have been the events of the post-war world that only a fast-fading national memory can recall the victorious march of American troops through the streets of Tokyo after Japan's capitulation in World War II. The defeated nation lay in ruins then, buried under the ugly ashes of a war begun in a vain belief in invincibility and ending in destruction. Japan today has risen far out of the humiliation of its defeat. It has rebuilt and it has reformed. It has made the revolutionary change from a totalitarian nation to a constitutional monarchy. The major share of the credit for this, of course, goes to the industrious Japanese people themselves. But it is also true that much of it was accomplished in a successful American occupation without parallel in history, with American energies and aid focused on the problem of rehabilitation. America's Military Assistance and Advisory Group represents today's version of the aid necessary to Japan, and the totally changed attitude of the free world toward Japan itself. Once it was believed that Japan should remain a demilitarized state, but it has so conclusively proved its right to take its place among the free nations of the earth that a good part of American aid today is directed to an effort to help Japan build an effective defense force capable of protecting itself against aggression. American troops are not in Japan today as an occupation force. The peace treaty ending the spectacularly amicable occupation is now several years old. But American troops are there as advisors, helping the troops of the new Japan adapt to the techniques of modern war, in a continuation of the solid and durable friendship uniting Japan and the United States. Japan's Army-type power is called the Ground Self-Defense Forces, established during the occupation as the National Police Reserve and later known as the National Safety Force. Composed of a new generation of Japanese fighting men and patterned on the organization of the U.S. Army, it is a serious and determined force, already well capable of taking care of its country's internal security. Diligently and steadily, it trains to achieve the capability of providing an adequate defense of Japan, the goal set in the peace treaty. The new Japan, which faces its future proudly and with confidence, is rewarding evidence of what American aid can accomplish. For this once bitter enemy of freedom is today one of the most valuable components in the entire world of free men.
Our military aid to the nations of the Far East is one of the most effective defenses the free world has against communist aggression in that most vital area. Now this is Sergeant Stuart Queen, your host for The Big Picture.
The Big Picture is an official television report for the armed forces and the American people. Produced by the Army Pictorial Center. Presented by the United States Army in cooperation with this station.